What is going on, everyone? Jim here from RC After Dark. Got a little unboxing video for y'all today. Little being the key word. Just to start it off, everyone, this vehicle is not my vehicle. This one belongs to my brother. He ordered this the other day from A-Main Hobbies. Got a big old sticker sheet here, courtesy of A-Main Hobbies for that. Order a lot of stuff from A-Main. Not being sponsored by them, but good source for your RC stuff. I also order a lot of stuff from Horizon Hobbies as well, so just keep that in mind. Not being sponsored by Horizon Hobbies, but once again, order a lot of stuff from those guys. So what we're looking at here today, everybody, is a Horizon Hobbies Axial SCX 24 deadbolt. So 1/24 scale electric four-wheel drive, ready to run deadbolt. So let's take a look at the box, see what she's all about before we get her opened up here. Just looking at the cover here, looking at our little truck right there. Good looking little truck. Not too shabby. Trail proven off-road performance, SCX 24 deadbolt, 1/24 scale, electric four-wheel drive. Once again, Axial down there at the bottom. LED lights included, ready to run, and that is available in red or in green. Flip it around to the side of the box here. We have Horizon Hobby is a world leader in RC fun. Every product we make is driven by industry-leading innovation and engineering and backed by exceptional customer service and support. And this one obviously it passed its inspection there. So moving on down the line here, 1/24 scale four-wheel drive electric. We have some KMC XT 229 machete crawler wheels, Nitto Trail Grappler MT tires, so some Nitto mud trains on this thing. Officially licensed by KMC Wheels, Nitto, and Baja Designs. We have the AX190081 SCX24 deadbolt 1/24 scale electric four-wheel drive RTR. Length 7.8 inches, 198 millimeters. The width is 3.9 inches at 100 millimeters. The height is 4.3 inches or 110 millimeters. Our wheelbase is 5.2 inches or 133 millimeters. Ground clearance 0.7 inches, 18 millimeters. Weight 0.5 pounds or 0.22 kilograms. Right around 8 ounces there for half a pound. Note, prototype shown. Some imagery may differ from the actual product. Age recommendations not for children under 14 years old. This is not a toy. And blah, 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 and a bunch of other languages. And an important part right down here at the very bottom. 2019 Horizon Hobby LLC Axial. The Axial logo, SCX24, and the Horizon Hobby logo are trademarks or registered trademarks of Horizon Hobby LLC. KMC Wheels, Baja Design, and Nitto are property of their respective owners and are used with permission or under license by Horizon Hobby LLC. Horizon Hobby LLC, 2904 Research Road, Champaign, Illinois, made in the USA. Also, another Horizon Hobbies right over there in Germany. So, two different locations by Horizon Hobbies, designed in California, and I believe it is actually made in China. But we'll get around to that here. Looking at the back half of the box, SCX24, deadbolt 1/24 scale, blah, blah, blah. We have a little ring and pinion there, which is actually a worm gear. Front and rear differentials each house a worm screw and worm gear setup to get the power to the axles and create higher ground clearance. Just like the 1/10 scale SCX10 platform, the SCX24 chassis features rugged and sturdy steel C-channel frame rails with bracing to keep everything intact and aligned. And even at the small scale, with the combination of coilover shocks with simulated reservoirs, the durable plastic suspension links deliver the crawling performance you've known and expect from Axial. Looking at some drive shafts there, steel front and rear axles, front stub axles, along with steel dog bones provide strength and durability to keep things running during tough climbs and rough trails. So looking at our axles, the front and rear axle consists of two-piece molded plastic solid axle design for optimal handling. The SCX24 suspension features a 3-link front and a 4-link rear setup. Looking at our drive shafts here now, the front and rear drive shafts are splined and sleeved to allow for maximum suspension travel while keeping the power to the wheels. Little box information there, off-road, mountainous, rocky, desert. Probably more or less meant for indoors than anything else. Flipping around to the other side of the box, once again, a little redundancy there with our SCX stuff. We've got our deadbolt in red and our deadbolt in green, and we have the green one. Looking at our ready to run stuff here, we can focus in on it. Included Axial AX4 2.4 GHz 2-channel radio system, Axial AS1 servo, Axial AE6 ESC receiver combo, USB charger, Dynamite 88 turn brushed electric motor, Dynamite 350 milliamp 2S LiPo, and 4 AA batteries for the transmitter. Needed to completed, nothing, everything is included in the box. There we go, there's our made in China. Alright guys and gals, so that is a look at the box. We spun her all around, we looked at all her sides. We'll go ahead here, get this baby unboxed and see what she looks like in real life. Alright, let's go ahead here and open this girl up and see what she's all about. And there is our truck. Well, we got our DeadBolt pulled out of the box. We're looking down inside the box to see what all we have in here. Looks like we have a little USB battery charger. USB LiPo charger. There's our cord, where it plugs in. Look at the back of this girl real quick here and see what we have to say. Input 5 volts, 2 amp. Output 4.2 volts per cell, 800 milliamp. Max battery size 2S. Horizon Hobby LLC. Made in China. Dynamite. Blah blah blah. So we'll look at our USB charger. Looking further into the box here. Try to pull out what appears to be our manual. We've got 4 AA batteries sitting in here, and it looks like we have some plastic suspension components, possibly. Maybe a little chunk of drive shaft down there. Not too sure, but we'll get this guy out of here and see what all it consists of. It looks like it's relatively thick. That's what she said. On into the rest of the box here. We'll pull this lid out here and see what we got going on underneath it. Alright, what do we got here? Tough little piece of cardboard to slide out is what we got there. Alright, looking down inside, everyone, we've got a radio. And that is it. That is the rest of the contents of our box is a radio wrapped up here in some plastic. We'll go ahead here and get this unwrapped. A little bit of bubble wrap there. Taking a quick look at the transmitter, everyone. The AX4 2.4 gigahertz. It does have a foam wrap on the wheel, so that's nice. Looks like it's very easy to operate one-handed. Looking at the bottom of the radio, looks like our batteries are inserted right here on the very bottom of the radio. This reminds me of an old school Futaba radio here. We got a double stack of batteries going into the grip. Two AA's facing down with the positive down, and 2 AA's with the positive up. We'll peek at the radio. Looks like we have a little flip up top here on the back, or on the top of the radio. And in there we have our on-off switch, a bind button. Channel 1, it looks like a steering trim right there. We have a dual rate, channel 1 normal and reverse. Channel 3, I'm not too sure what's going on with that switch there. And then we got this LMH switch, not too sure what's going on with that, but we'll have to dig into the manual and see if we can find out what that's all about. So there's a look at our radio. Taking a look at our truck, I know this is what everybody really wants to see. So here's a look at our truck sitting inside this nice pretty little wrapper there. And we're going to have to bust out some wire cutters and set her free. So let's go around to doing that. One quick snip on the bottom here. There we go. Pull that out of there. We'll get this little girl free from her box. Try to do this gently. I don't want to damage the truck in any way, shape, or form. Once again, this vehicle belongs to my brother, not my personal vehicle. There we go. And we got her free. Now, before we dig into the truck, everyone, let's take a quick look at all the included stuff that we have with it. We have one extra body pin right here. We have one very small Allen wrench right there. We have our 4 AA batteries for the transmitter. And we also have a small medley of plastic parts. These look like some upper or lower links for the rear axle and front axle, along with half of a drive shaft tube. So that is what we got going on with our parts. Looking at manuals and paperwork, everyone, it included this gigantic sheet of paper in here, which really doesn't have much other than the limited warranty in a bunch of different languages and all the different styles of battery connectors right there. So not much use out of this little piece of paper. So we're just going to chuck that off to the side. Taking a look at our manual, we got our DeadBolt 124 scale electric 4-wheel drive ready to run. It appears to be pretty thick, so hopefully there's some good information in here. We'll take a quick peek at that before we dig into the truck. Just to see what this has to say. Some notices, blah blah blah, safety precautions and warnings, table of contents, water resistant vehicle with waterproof electronics. Well, there we go. Your new Horizon Hobby vehicle has been designed and built with a combination of waterproof and water resistant components to allow you to operate this product in many wet conditions, including puddles, creeks, wet grass, snow, and even rain. While the entire vehicle is highly water resistant, it is not completely waterproof, and your vehicle should not be treated like a submarine. No deep six in your RCs. The various electric components used in this vehicle, such as electric speed controller, ESC, servos, and receiver, are waterproof. However, most of the mechanical components are water resistant and should not be submerged. Metal parts, including the bearings, hinge pins, screws, and nuts, as well as the contacts and the electrical cables, will be susceptible to corrosion if additional maintenance is not performed after running in wet conditions. To maximize the long-term performance of your vehicle and to keep the warranty intact, the procedures described in the wet conditions maintenance section below must be performed regularly if you choose to run in wet conditions. If you are not willing to perform the additional care and maintenance required, then you should not operate the vehicle in those conditions. So if you're not willing to perform extra maintenance on your vehicle, don't operate in wet conditions. If you operate in wet conditions, you're probably going to mess up your truck. If you don't maintenance it, it's going to break, and then you're going to go cry into Horizon Hobbies or Axial for a new one. So if you're not going to do the maintenance, don't play in the mud. So we got our general precautions right through here, blah, blah, blahs. Wet conditions maintenance, very convenient. Drain any water that has collected in the tires by spinning them at high speed with the body removed. Place the vehicle upside down and pull the throttle for a few short bursts until the water has been removed. Caution, always keep hands and fingers, tools, or any loose hanging objects away from the rotating parts while performing the above drying technique. Remove the battery pack and dry the contacts. If you have an air compressor or a can of compressed air, blow out any water that may be inside the recessed connector housing. So inside your battery connectors themselves, make sure to blow any kind of excess water out of those. Remove the tires, wheels from the vehicle and gently rinse the mud, dirt off with a garden hose. Avoid rinsing the bearings and transmission. Notice, never use a pressure washer to clean your vehicle. Yeah, I would think not. At 3,500 psi or so, it'd probably cut that little car in half. Use an air compressor or a can of compressed air to dry the vehicle with help. Remove any water that may have gotten into small crevices and corners. Spray the bearings, drivetrain, fasteners, and other metal parts with a water-displacing light oil. Do not spray the motor. Let the vehicle air dry before you store it. Water and oil may continue to drip for a few hours. Increase the frequency of disassembly, inspection, and lubrication of the following: front and rear axle hub assembly bearings, all transmission cases, gears, and differentials, motor clean with an aerosol motor cleaner, and re-oil the bushings with a light motor oil. So we have our box contents, USB charging the vehicle, plugging into the USB charger, fairly self-explanatory. Plug that into a USB charger, plug the cord into the charger itself, and plug the battery into the charger. Red light for its charging, green light when it's done, and it usually takes approximately 2 hours to charge. Looking at our radio stuff here, transmitter layout, throttle trim knob, adjust the throttle control rate. So that's what that little switch is right there. Battery level indicator, solid red battery voltage is good, flashing red battery voltage is critically low, below 4 volts. Replace the transmitter batteries. There's our on-off switch. There's our bind button. Steering trim adjustment right there. Steering dual right adjustment right there. Just the total steering travel. And our normal reverse for changing the direction of your steering servo. Looking at a radio, very simple. Pull in to go forward, push backwards to go reverse, left and right on the steering wheel. Installing our batteries into the transmitter. Flip up top on the vehicle, pull out 2 hairpins. Body is hinged, so it flips backwards, allowing easy access to the underside of the chassis. Alrighty, here, installing our battery, where to plug the battery into the ESC, our on-off switch on the radio, the on-off switch for the vehicle itself. There's a little slider button right here, a slider switch right on the side of the ESC. Test the controls before driving. Binding the transmitter and receiver. When you finish driving your vehicle, power off the transmitter, remove the vehicle battery, and charge if necessary. Binding the transmitter and receiver. Binding is the process of programming the receiver and recognize a specific transmitter signal, thus preventing interference from other transmitters. The transmitter and receiver included with your vehicle are bound from the factory. If you need to rebind, follow the instructions below. So already bound up from the factory. If you need to rebind it, there is instructions in here on how to do that. We have some troubleshooting stuff in the manual as well, so good to know. Troubleshooting shooting stuff, parts list, limited warranty. And then we move on into the same stuff in different languages. So not much in the manual other than base description and doing maintenance on your vehicle after playing around the water. Now that we're done with the boring stuff, let's get down to the nitty gritty and take a look at the truck itself. Articulation, not too bad on the front there. Looks like we've got 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of travel on the front. Looking around at the back, try to max this thing out right about there. No foams inside the tires. Taking a look at our little itty bitty tires here, our Nitto Trail Grappler mud terrains. Once again, no foams inside, very soft rubber tires. Little nuts here on the end so you can remove the tires from the axles. Looking at the truck itself, once again, 2 LEDs in the front bumper, just a plastic sticker on the grill, so no LEDs there. Servo mounted on top of the axle. LED light bar on the roof. Well, no LEDs. That is a fake light bar on the roof with nothing but stickers and on top of that. Looking at our little driver inside, blacked out steering wheel, small dash layout here. Looks like a GPS. Our shift lever, a couple cup holders, a little stereo, and our fuel cell in the back. So nothing too fancy there. Looking at the back of the truck, once again, stickers, no taillights. And then looking at our worm gear drive on our differential. Shocks move nice and freely, so that's good to know. Everything is nice and free back here, easy moving. Same on the front. Everything moves nice and free, so good to know right there. No binding of any kind. So let's pop this body off and see what she looks like underneath. A couple easy body pins to remove. The body is hinged, so it just lays back like that. Take a look at our underside here. Looking at our ESC right off the bat, everyone, looking at all our plugs coming in and out of this. We've got one plug coming out for our LED lights and one plug coming out for our steering servo. But that leaves us an open port on channel 2, an open port on auxiliary 1, and another open port for another LED light, along with our brake control on the back. So you could probably plug in more LED lights into this vehicle. Obviously you have an LED port right here, but you can also probably get power off of auxiliary and channel 2. Our on-off switch is located right here on the side of the ESC. Little on-off, click, click, there you go. Looking at our battery, our 350 milliamp 2S LiPo, which is held in by Velcro. And looking at our battery tray right there. When charging your battery, you would plug your charger into this cord right here, which is your balancing plug. And then when you plug the truck into the ESC, you're using this little plug right here, which is the positive negative, and that is being plugged into this socket right here. Looking at the receiver once more, here's our antenna wire just dangling along. So I believe I'm probably going to take that antenna wire and run it between the battery and the Velcro hold down, just so that's not flopping around and get rid of the possibility of it getting wrapped up in the drivetrain and ripping it off. Taking a look at our drivetrain, here's our motor. This is an 88 turn brushed motor, and this is our transmission / transfer case combination. Steel C-channel frame, fake coilover shocks. And that is a basic look at the inside of the vehicle. So that's a peek at the truck, everybody. We're going to go ahead here, get this guy plugged in and see what she can do. Maybe create a little small course and give it a little test run and see how she does. We are back, everyone. We've got the little SCX 24 DeadBolt out. Made a little makeshift course here in the garage using some lumber and some little ramps. Big old reveiw tire there. Some varying sizes of 1.9 Super Swampers. On up and over to the ramp. Back down the other side, do some radius cut boards that are off camber there, and then onto an awaiting TRX4 Bronco with a trailer. Have a couple of little targets sitting down here on the floor, sitting on some chair cushions there in case we take a little tumble for some bonus points. Taking a look at our radio here real quick before we get started, everyone. Little switch here on the side, that LMH that we're looking at right there, LMH, that is low, medium, and high. So we have it switched over here in low range for doing this kind of crawling. I'm going to go ahead here and hand the radio off to my brother and let him take his truck through the course. So there you go, Ian. Say hello to everybody.
Up.
All right, he's got his truck in hand, and we are going to get ready to go here. Making his approach onto that first set of sticks there. Up and over the big log. Onto our makeshift sand ladders. Over to the reveiw tire. Pretty decent throttle control on this little vehicle. It's pretty sensitive. Steering seems pretty good on it as well. Not much roll, or no roll actually, with the worm gear differentials. So I do not recommend trying to push this truck or trying to spin the tires by hand. Not with a worm gear differential, you're liable to break something, so don't bother trying to do that. Still making his approach up the hill. Good thing about that worm gear differential is it not only gives you more ground clearance, but it's also a good braking action, just because it's hard to roll other than spinning it by the pinion. Making his way over the hill. Attempting to climb over this next 1.9 super swamper laid out in front of him. Going nice and slow and easy. Speaking of differentials, I think he's got his differential snagged on that one. But he's fighting on through, making his way over to the off-camber radius cut boards there. As long as he takes this nice and slow and steady and tries to stay on the center of the boards. Oh, look at that, he made it nice and easy on the first shot.
Touchy throttle.
Touchy throttle. He's doing a little backing up here, readjusting for the trailer, making his approach. A little bit of a gap there between the truck and the trailer, and he is on. And that is going to do it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Very much appreciated. And we will see you all on the next video. Thanks again.